That's not enough. I'm going. I don't know if they've got any more in them.
Can we have the house lights up, please?
Uh-oh.
Just the house lights.
Uh-oh. It's happening. I don't think we want to put the house lights up.
Jeez. Just demonstrate again, quickly. Bow.
Are you sure you don't want to do this?
Yeah. What do you want me to tell them, Anthony?
Watch it.
You want to do the intro again?
Just show them how to do
Oh, okay. I don't really know.
Just were you an Ewok or not?
I was an Ewok, yes.
Oh, you see. Maybe you are a forgery. Maybe you are a fake.
No, I was an Ewok.
Where you were,
I know how to do this.
There.
Oh, trust me.
You were that little one, weren't you?
Okay.
You were the one with Carrie Fisher. What's her name? Princess Leia. Okay, do it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's good,
doesn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think you quite understand. Warwick is demonstrating rather well, I thought, frankly, if I may pay you a compliment. He is explaining how to do this, right? How do you say that in German? Translate it, George.
You'll be lucky.
Okay, here is, I will now demonstrate. Any questions? Everybody on your feet. I mean, I'm the guest. I'm going to rehearse.
Listen, I hyped him up as much as I possibly could. It's hard
but it
to
wasn't enough. Right,
okay.
now, if you want Warwick to keep his job for the next 3 days, you will do this properly. Are we ready? Sound and light. Now, we're leaving the house lights on, right? Because I am going to be watching from a spy hole in the sky.
Listen.
And anybody not giving it the full works will come up stage and demonstrate personally. Actually, that's the wrong thing to say, because they all want to be in the movies. So.
That is the wrong thing.
I don't think are there any Ewoks in episode 7?
Probably yes.
Oh, you've had a phone call.
No, I haven't had a phone call.
Okay. You're not meant to talk about it. You are not meant to talk about it. Right. Okay. Now you've got the idea. Any questions? Right. Good luck, studio. House lights on. Stand by. Field cue. Thank you.
Okay. It's going to be a long afternoon. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, as an Ewok, I once mistook him for some sort of god. He's not. He's just a human.
Are you sure?
But don't let that stop you bowing as you welcome Mr. Anthony Daniels! It's great, guys. Keep it going. Keep it going. It's really good.
Enough. Calm down. Right.
That was very good.
That was good, wasn't it? It made me feel very good, actually, to have that done in the movies to me.
Was it nice being bound to
by
Ewoks?
Being king for a day, whatever.
Some sort of god.
I liked it, yes.
Yes, indeed.
People say, what is my favourite line in all the Star Wars movies? And you know, Han Solo was always a bit mean to 3PO, wasn't he? Yeah, he was mean. So 3PO's favourite line, which was when Han Solo is suspended, you will remember this, over an Ewok cooking fire with flames nibbling at his naughty bits, and they were going, could you do some Ewok?
Yup.
Oh, yup, it's a good line. Yup. And Han Solo says, what's he saying, 3PO? And if you watch it carefully, 3PO says with a very smug smile, it appears, Captain Solo, that you are to be the main course at a banquet given in my honour.
I love hearing you do the voice. It never gets old. Never gets old. Now, have you ever been out and about in a situation where you sort of slipped into the walk or the voice for effect? Trying to get a table at a restaurant, perhaps?
No, it's a way to get thrown out of a restaurant. Yeah. But you know, it's wonderful that you're here as the host of this show, because many, many years ago, I invented Warwick's role. I was the host at the very first Star Wars celebration with Dan Madsen, and it's great that you take over now. With all Guys, can you see the technical stuff that you have here? We've got cue screens, we've got monitors, we've got
a roof.
clocks, we've got a roof,
Yeah.
and it's not raining, we've got screens. Back in those days, and you've got a script and all that, and a computer, back in those days, we had nothing. We just had an idea that Dan had come up with. As the host, I had all the cues written in blue felt-tip marker on the palm of my hand, and I would surreptitiously look at the cue to see who was the next person on, what time they should be there, what time they should leave the stage. And at one point, of course, it's Carrie Fisher coming on, and Carrie was beautifully dressed, as always, and she had just a shirt on with no sleeves or anything like that. It was a very big stage, a bit like this, and to save time, I walked right across, having announced her, and said something like, you know, Carrie, mwah, 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 it's so great to see you. As I took my hand away, I realized that I had left an entire print of the script on her shoulder. So thank you for not squeezing me tonight.
You basically devised a very early iPad, really, didn't you, by doing it?
I think so, but it was in reverse print. Do you see? It was like a mirror.
I see. So you were sort of looking at, oh dear. Did she realise, or did you not?
No, I didn't like to say anything. I kind of went and rubbed up to her to get it off later, if you see what I mean.
So you're a veteran for Star Wars Celebrations. What do you enjoy about the event? You know, is it coming into contact with that lot?
No. Haven't been in contact with that lot?
Well, of course.
There's a lot of them.
Oh, there are a lot of them. I don't expect you to be in contact with all of them, but
no.
I mean, it's great, isn't it, to get the fans' reaction directly, because being a film actor, you don't get the audience reaction, do you?
You get no reaction at all when you're filming a scene. And seriously, it was a serious question. The joy of coming here is it's kind of a link from the film screen where you see something that, for instance, Warwick and I have done many, many months before, and it's all been edited and post-produced. And it's a beautiful film, but in a way it lacks the spontaneity. Here at, for instance, Celebration, you have all come live, and we've all come live here,
yes,
including Warwick here. And there's a kind of natural bonding, and for me, who started out basically as a stage actor, an experience like this is a link between the screen and the audience. Did anybody here say Star Wars in concert? Yeah! It's the same sort of thing. It is a live interaction and it feels good. Does it feel good to you? Yeah! They were there. My arm would remember where they are. If I had to pick up the comm link, there's the comm link. Here's the piece of sticky tape in the palm of my hand because I can't grasp the comm link, so I slap it and pick it up. And actually, I was only wearing the arm. I was standing there in jeans and just went... But with the power of editing, you see. Now, what was I talking about before that?
I have no idea.
Seeing things. So surrounded in that Ewok village, you remember?
Yes.
It was a brilliant set, wasn't it?
It was brilliant. 20 feet off the ground as
20
well.
feet off the ground. And here's the thing. If you remember back, the Ewok village was quite high. If you have a camera at a high angle, shooting down, you're going to see the studio floor. What did they do to hide the studio floor? Because under the set was where all the Ewoks were stored. When they went on duty, they could have a coffee or a bun or whatever, but basically they were in cages down there. And what was also down there, to add a sense of mystery, Ewok village, what was underneath?
I know.
What was it?
Smoke.
Smoke. What's smoke?
Incense.
You're not allowed to smoke on a set.
But it was sort of, they were burning something to make smoke.
It was dry ice. What is dry ice? CO2, carbon dioxide. It lacks oxygen. All the Ewoks were falling asleep. It was brilliant. Do you remember that?
Brilliant. Well, actually, we used
but they always, I said, you've all got to remember, if we rehearse this, and this was actually in the Redwood Forest,
yes,
if we rehearse the scene, you need to be there, you need to be there, you need to be there, if that's where you are. Please don't get out of position, because I can't see you. I'm flying blind. Is that okay? Yeah, it's okay. And all that went on. So in one scene, we started action, and this one moved out of line. So it was done, It was fine. We had a spare one, so it worked out really well. But you do need to, do what you rehearsed.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was very important because we couldn't see where we were going either. You see.
No.
Everything misted up, and it was an absolute.
That's right. It wasn't a great costume for you either, was it?
No. I mean, I can sort of sympathise with this, but you played such an iconic character but really, nobody knows it was you because you were hidden. Is that an advantage, or do you think that's a disadvantage? How is that?
It is neither one thing or the other. Actually, it's both. Because there's a lot to be said for just walking around without... look at that, 17 pieces. I'm not sure if I'm the 17th piece there, but that's everything you need for a droid. Which is kind of interesting and probably... Yeah, I don't have that at home, I have to tell you.
No, that's not your living room.
It is kind of... it is kind of nice to be able to walk around without being recognised all the time. But it's also nice to sometimes be recognised, and the nicest thing is when people come up and say, thank you. And many people have done that here today. Thank you. Thank you for all the years. Thank you for the memory.
Dying. And one of the casting directors, in fact, principal casting director of the Star Wars saga, Mary Selway, wonderful woman, sadly no longer with us, she saw that performance. And as a result of that, I'm now sort of talking retrospectively, she had mentioned my name to George. And at that time, they cast the Emperor. They got someone who was closer to the age of the guy than I was. But unfortunately, sadly, because he was a wonderful actor, they couldn't insure him. He couldn't take the yellow eyes. He couldn't take those contact lenses. So one morning I got up as usual. The phone rang. My agent said, George Lucas wants to meet you. There's a car coming shortly. Well, it had already arrived. I can look outside the window. That's how George does things. So I got in the car, went down to Elstree where they already started filming, met George and Richard Marquand, the director of Return of the Jedi, over 30 years ago now, and we had a nice chat about this and that, nothing special. And I thought, well, whatever the part was, because they never mentioned what it might be, I haven't got it, but it's nice. I've met two interesting artists. I've met George Lucas. And as I was going out the door, George said, "Hey, great to see you. What a nose!"
Whatever did he mean?
I know, exactly. Not many people say that. But I suddenly thought, oh, well, this is clearly a part about a nose. And maybe I've got it. Well, when I got back, the phone was ringing again, and it was my agent to tell me that I had got the part. And I said, oh, that's great, but what is the part? And he leafed through his notes, the way agents do, one after another. And he said, oh, it's called the Emperor of the Universe. So I said, well, I guess I'll be doing it then. And here I am.
Brilliant. Now, of course, at that time you were 30 years old, playing a much older character.
Correct.
How old was the Emperor?
He was about 120. We were never specific, but he was about that, yeah.
And then how did you feel about going back to that character for the prequels, but kind of then he was your age at that point?
I know. It was a very, very strange reversal. So when I was in my late 30s, I was playing 120. And because I was sort of 50-ish, the age that Palpatine needed to be in order to later become whatever it was, 120 or so, I was the right age to continue in the prequels what we'd already established. Now, George didn't have to ask me, but we had another meeting not unlike the first, when I went to a hotel this time. And he said, what would you like to drink? And I said, oh, I'll just have a glass of water. And then he said, do you know anyone who wants to play an emperor? I said, well, funny you should mention it. He said, okay, I guess that's you. Give back the water. And yes, he's an economist in lots of ways. That was the second time I was asked to rejoin the Star Wars saga. But it was handy that I happened to be the right age, because if it had been a much older actor, then they would have gone for a sort of younger actor. And he didn't tell me that time that there were sort of two parts. Palpatine, the senator, very straightforward politician, doing his best for his country and his queen. And then this other satanic monster sort of lurking underneath his skin. And I only realized, because he said that there's somebody else, you're not the real villain in this, it all changes as the saga goes on. So I felt real disappointment. He said, no, there's this other guy who's in the background. And then I got the scripts with my number and name opposite, and I realized it was me. Wow. So on the very first day of shooting, I had to get my head around the fact that I was Darth Sidious as well as Palpatine. And Liam Neeson at the premiere came up to me and said, hi Ian, nice to see you.